Hey, it's Aneesh from the Morning Mess, Live 1015, hanging out here at the W Scottsdale with legendary Zedd. Zedd, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much. So now, before we get started with everything, I just have to tell you, I know that the weather's been crazy. There was a lot of turbulence on your flight here, so all flights are canceled. There's no way to get out of here, and I know that after that Fire Festival disaster, we thought maybe that we could get you a little care package to take care of you because there might not be food. So,
Is it a fire sandwich?
this is a Fire Festival sandwich just for you. So just in case you don't have any other food coming
It
up.
looks original. It looks just like the original.
Oh yeah, well yes, absolutely. I took some inspiration from that, but
Thank you.
yeah, of
That's
course.
so nice.
I was curious to know
About
though,
12 grand.
hearing about that whole Fire Festival disaster. Like, do you have any like experiences that you can relate to with some festivals that haven't worked out maybe the way that you wanted to?
Oh yeah, dozens of festivals. You advance in, weeks before the show to get there, so everything is built accordingly, so fans can experience the best show possible. That's what we're doing it. And then you get there, and there's half of it will ship to the wrong city, and that's happened to us before, where our lasers were just shipped to the wrong city, and we're like, how does that even happen? So that happens all the time. I would say Fire is definitely the single worst organization in terms of a music festival that's probably ever happened. Um, Nothing like that has ever happened to us, but there's definitely been situations where we were extremely frustrated.
Okay, good to know. Now, in this care package, when I made it, I made sure to not use blue cheese because I saw that you had tweeted a few days ago that blue cheese is the devil. What exactly does that mean?
I hate blue cheese. I don't understand how people can love it. At the same time, I really love bitter things. One of my favorite drinks is Campari Orange,
Okay.
which is a drink not a lot of people know, and if they do, they don't like it. Um, but blue cheese, man, I don't even. It's just there's nothing about the taste I like. Not even a single corner of a blue cheese.
I'm actually the same way. I can't stand blue cheese. I love every other different type of cheese, but now getting into the music a little bit, your collaboration with Alessia Cara is amazing. It's been doing amazing performance-wise. So congratulations to you on that. Now, when it comes to making a song and you do a lot of collaborations, what comes first? Does the song come first or does the collaboration come first?
Typically the song comes first. In the case of Stay, I had maybe a minute and a half of the song done, and that was super rough. And I had a demo vocal, which wasn't, it's not the final lyrics, but it was close enough. And I thought Alessia would sound amazing on it, and I knew I was going to meet her a couple of weeks after because we had to perform together. So that was the first time we met, and then I told her I have a song that would be great for her, and played it for her, and she really liked it. And the next week we started recording it, and she changed the lyrics that she didn't like to make it, something she would say. And then I took about 3 or 4 months to finish the production and kept sending her updates. And then when it was done, we released it like 6 weeks
Oh, wow.
after it was done, which is, I guess, for me, pretty in advance, because usually I deliver the song about the minute before it comes out.
Really?
Yeah, I work on it till last second. In this case, I was done, super happy we had time to prepare it and get everything ready, and yeah, then the song came out.
Very cool. Okay. So that, with that being said, I've read online some stuff about you with Iggy Azalea. Is there anything you can elaborate on as far as that goes?
I've made a song with Iggy. I don't even know, maybe like a year ago. I'm half a year ago. I have a terrible sense of time. It definitely wasn't very recent, and it's going to be on her album. I believe she announced the release date, but don't quote me on that because I might be wrong. And yeah, she asked me for help with her album, so it wasn't for me. And then I made it very Zeddy in certain parts, and then we just were like, hey, if it makes sense for me to be featured on it, maybe that explains the sound.
Okay.
So we did that.
Okay. Very cool.
It's the craziest song I've ever done.
The with Iggy or just in general?
No, no, in general, it's extremely experimental. The scale the song is in is weird in a cool way. It just doesn't sound like anything else out there, which is really cool.
Okay, very nice. And now speaking of music, though, I mean, like you have the collaboration with Alessia Cara out. You have your own the collaboration with Iggy. The fans, when I tweeted about me seeing you, was Z3. The album. Can we talk about the album? Any details we can share with the fans?
There's really not much to share other than that I'm working on separate songs at the moment. So I have about 4 songs that I'm closely working on, and then a couple ideas that are basically just piano for now. But that's how most songs start. So there probably will be an album, not this year though. My plan last time I spent 2 or 3 years making an album released all at once. This time I'm gonna be releasing music as I work on music.
Okay.
So I'm probably gonna release like 4 or 5 songs, and by then I'll hopefully have enough other songs to maybe make an album. But it will come, but not this year.
So is that style of releasing music more because that's how the industry is now, or is that just because of your creative process?
No, it is. I mean, full disclosure, I don't think any artist can, at least for me, I make my own music and it takes a long time. If you're a singer, you sometimes have the great situation where somebody makes the song, somebody writes it, somebody else produces it, and then you come in and sing for 1 hour and leave and do your own thing and go on tour, and then you come back and your album is done. That's not the case with me. It takes a long time to do everything. So I just don't think I can afford to spend 3 years not releasing music. And I don't think my fans want to wait 3 years for an album. I think they would much rather have me put out music as I finish it and as it's fresh. Because remember, when you make music and things change so quickly, you will hear something 3 years later. It's not that fresh anymore at that point. So I think there's a big advantage of me. I had a little bit of time off. I came back in the studio, made Stay, and released it right away, and there was just something really fresh about it. And if I had released Stay 3 years later, who knows if it would have done as well as it did.
I don't know. I feel like "Stay" is probably one of those like timeless records. As soon as I heard the humming start off the track, I was like, okay, wait a minute, what is this? and with that being said, who's humming?
It is inspired by an old gospel record, and it's in the middle of a gospel record, reversed. And then Linus, who is one of the writers that I worked with, he re-sang it himself. And then we reversed his voice backwards, and that's the hum.
Okay, cool. Are there any other like quirky samples that you can recall that you've used in some of your tracks recently?
Um, Quirky samples. Maybe there's like an sample, which is a couple people combined, pitched down. But there's a million samples in every single song I make, and they can be as random as a snow stomp or like somebody hitting somebody, and you take that and make that into a clap, or anything creative. I think there's a lot of great samples that aren't made for music. They're like lions growling, or like animals, or wind, or ocean, and those are really good sounding samples. They're just not made for the use I would use them as, so I take them and like gunshots, for example. Gunshots sound really good, and you take them and then you make that into a clap or something like that.
Wait, so Zedd is putting gunshots?
I have gunshots in my music all over the place.
Are you serious? Is it something that we can hear clearly, or is it kind of like blended into the
You
tracks?
will never. I mean, there's one song, Adrenaline, where you can actually hear the gunshots. It's like a fill instead of a snare. I used gunshots, but I have a song called Illusion, and in that song, most of the drum samples are weird, random things that I just reimagined. They have nothing to do, like, it wasn't a snare folder that you go into and then you take the snare. It was many weird things, like a whip is like the little pre-snare thing, and there's a lot of weird samples, but they sound really cool in the end. You obviously have to put some work into it.
Okay. And then in the process while you're making all this music, I think one thing that's really cool is you've come out with your own headphones. Are you using your headphones while you're producing, or do your headphones have like a purpose outside of that?
The purpose of them is for anyone at any time to be able to use them. For me, since I tuned the headphones, I can rely on them, and I know they sound real, which is good for the case when I do need headphones on the road. But I try to produce music in the studio that I have just finished at my house that I'm really happy about. So so far I haven't had the situation where I needed to mix a song on the road, but if I do, I will finally have a solution for that.
Okay, awesome. Well, Zedd, thank you so much for welcoming me into your beautiful hotel room here. I mean, I know that you're already breaking some glass there. I can help you out with the champagne
I know.
if need be. But it's Aneesh from Live 101.5's The Morning Mess hanging out with Zedd.